Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night of On Deck. I am Chris, joined by Dirk. How you doing today?
Hey, Chris, what's up? Lot to talk about tonight.
There is what?
A lot of trades last week.
Yeah.
Busiest trade deadline since like 1986.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. A lot of crazy things. So
you're a Mets fan. Let's go through the teams and what'd your Mets do?
Well, my Mets, okay, they're hanging on to first. The big news is Jacob deGrom is going to be out for a few more weeks, end of August maybe, forearm tightness. They certainly will miss him. And also, because he's going to miss so much time, there goes his shot at the ERA record because he won't have enough games to qualify, or innings, based on what they think he'll pitch. Okay. Mets weren't the busiest team at the trade deadline. They did pick up Rich Hill from the Rays, 41 years old, quality veteran pitcher. He was pitching pretty well for them, but the last month he kind of fell off. But I think with the Mets, he's going to be long relief, spot starter. He's definitely a quality veteran that I like on this team. The big news, the Mets got Javi Baez from the Cubs. Instantly paid off, home run first day. You're putting a Gold Glove infielder on the infield. Okay. Right now he's going to play short until Lindor comes back. And then he probably will shift over to second, and Jeff McNeil and JD Davis can share third base and possibly some outfield things. It creates what you would call a good problem with the Mets because there's a lot of good bats. Neither McNeil nor Davis are Gold Glove infielders, but they can play multiple positions, including the outfield, but they are extremely good bats, okay? When Lindor comes back in 3 or 4 weeks, him and Javi at short and second, that's one of the top 2 or 3 best short and double play combinations in baseball. Javi, hitting wise this year, it's a little off. He strikes out a lot, but he still has 22 home runs, 65 RBIs, hitting around 250. We'll take that, and we all know his baseball IQ. It seems like every few weeks we see him make some kind of play nobody figured out. A couple months ago, he did the play where he ran toward first baseman fielded the ball. This is versus Pittsburgh, and he ran and he backed up toward home, and the first baseman, instead of just touching first, chased him back. And the runner that was on third scored. Javi, because the first baseman threw the ball, ran to first, and then took second because nobody was covering second.
Oh, no.
Brilliant play. And he's done several things like that, and he's always done that in his career. He is a high IQ baseball player, good bat. He's only 26 years old. One of his wishes was to play with Francisco Lindor. Lindor is a couple years older, but he's kind of a hero to Javi. He Javi will be a free agent at the end of the year. And some are thinking, well, the Cubs will make him an offer. But from what the Cubs have done with the other players, Rizzo, Bryant, Kimbrel, I don't know why they would do that. They are, for some reason, a big fire sale. I think the Mets have a good shot at signing him. May not be as good a deal or as long a deal as Lindor, but he's almost the same player, a little younger. So I don't know, 5 years, 150 million something, and there you got a Gold Glove combo at second and short. With the Mets, they're still hanging on to first. Pitching has, because DeGrom has the setback, and Taijuan Walker has struggled a little since the All-Star break. Stroman struggled the other night, but they're still really good. Pete Alonso has gotten a little hotter. He's got 24 home runs. The polar bear is just stroking it. And actually, he's just played pretty steady all year. He hasn't had that really torrid hot streak that most good players do. Great attitude. Brandon Nimmo in center field was playing well. He has a slight hamstring strain. Dominic Smith in left field has been playing pretty good defensively, surprisingly. So maybe he's your answer in left field for a while. He can also play first. He's putting up some numbers, but I think he'll get better. Right field, Conforto just got benched because he's struggling. He's never, in his 6 or 7 years at the Mets, he's never struggled like this consistently. This has been a weird year. He got hurt, trying to come back. He's probably pressing. He is a very good right fielder defensively. I would put him as a Gold Glove candidate. However, this may be his last year with the Mets because his agent, the baseball antichrist, Scott Boras, never negotiates with the team and always lets his players go to free agent. Okay, so there will be no hometown discount or anything. Conforto's 27 years old, right in the middle of his, it's starting what should be the best parts of his career. Good bat most of the time. This is the first time he's really struggled, but his previous 6 years, he's done very well at bat. I don't see why this would be. It could be a number of things. He's struggling. He's trying to catch up. He needs to take a break. Something. The Mets have been playing good enough. They're in the NL East. It's not that the NL East is bad. The Mets are like 2.5 games up, 6 games over 500. It's just that so many of the teams are even. If you take out the Marlins, the Braves and the Phillies are right there. The Nationals, I think they gave up. I don't know why. So they were right in it too, but now it's going to be the Braves. And over the past weekend, the Braves kind of handled the Mets pretty good. It's been a struggle for years with the Braves and Mets. Phillies, they got Kyle Gibson from the Rangers now, quality veteran starter. They gave up a young guy that has a high top end, Ryan Howard, I think, the pitcher, but he's had shoulder issues, but he's 25. Who knows, what he can do. We'll see now that he's on the Rangers. The Mets catching between McCann and Nito has been solid, good defense. Their bullpen has overall been good, though occasionally they'll have a game or two where they just burp.
Right.
I don't know why, but Rich Hill may help in that department just to settle them young guys down as a veteran. Um, I think they're right there. It's going to be a dogfight in the NL East. Probably 88 games wins it, somewhere around it, maybe 90. Of course, if one of them team gets hot and wins 15 out of 18, they could put it away, and all three clubs, I like my Mets, but all three clubs, Phillies, Braves, are capable of that. So that's where we're sitting right now. It's what baseball is all about. It's a dogfight. We're going into the dog days of summer. We got about 70 games or so left, and it could be anything. Mets have held on to first place for about 60 some games. So, and they just beat each other up. I don't think it's because they're bad. I think it's the three teams are evenly matched. And I would have put the Nationals in there, but they gave up. They gave away Scherzer. They gave away Schwarber. They gave away Trey Turner. Who knows why?
They just gave up a lot of players.
Yep. It's the Mets for Javi Baez. They did give up their number one draft pick from last year, 19-year-old player, outfielder, tons of potential. Now he's on the Cubs. Crow Armstrong. He looked good in the minor leagues, but you got a proven player in Javi Baez. Crow Armstrong, he's probably projected to be in the major leagues in 2 or 3 years. Maybe he's an all-star. Maybe he's not. So we just have to see and run with the ride. It's going to be fun, people, from here on out in the NL East. It really is,
You got 2 months left of the season. Right now in the NL East, the Mets are on top, 55 and 51. The Philadelphia Phillies are a half a game back of the division, 6.5 games back of the wild card. And then the Atlanta Braves are 52 and 54 with 8.5 games back of the wild card, 3 games back of the division. So it's almost like a three-team race.
It is
right now.
Yeah, it will be. It doesn't matter who's first, second, or third. They're both within striking. They're all within striking distance. A week, 5-6 games can make a big difference. One of them teams gets red hot. I'm hoping it's the Mets. I'd like to see a 15 out of 20 type streak. Just kind of put everything together. All three of them teams have the ability to do that. They good pitching, all three teams, good offense. The Mets offense has not been as good as it should be during the year, but in the last month, they've picked up their numbers. Now they're in the league. They're in the middle of the league instead of the bottom. And all that does, you get Javi get hot along with Alonso once Nimmo comes back in a couple days. If he gets hot, and Dominic Smith has been steady, just not spectacular. He could get hot. It just takes a couple guys, and then the ball gets rolling. Same thing with the Braves. Same thing with the Phillies. It will be interesting. It makes me nervous because I'd like to see a dogfight, but I'd be a lot happier if the Mets got a 10-game lead and then cruise. But baseball, if you got a dogfight with 3 teams going into the last week and they're all within 2 games, 3 games of each other, really that's what baseball is all about. It's fun. Every day you're just staring at the score sheets and everything, and who did this, who did that, and the way they play more in division rivals now, it really makes a difference, So, and that's my short and sweet thing with the Mets there. Okay.
All right.
You know,
Now with the Rangers, they got they acquired 6 players, but they gave up like 5 in total, 2 of them which are pretty much star players in Joey Gallo, who we mentioned earlier, and Kyle Gibson. I'm kind of surprised that those 2, kind of left the Rangers. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, and because I live in Dallas and I do follow the Rangers, they're like my number 2 team. They're just in that spot. I wish they would have held on to Gallo. He's 27, okay? And I expected Gibson to be dealt just because he's a good veteran receiver, made an all-star team this first year. With the Rangers, they got some good young players. Adolis Garcia, who's playing center field. Now he's moved over to right. You got IKF at shortstop. And now Jonah Heim at catcher, since he's been plugged in as the regular, he's turned into something. But the Rangers let Gibson go. They got a little something for him from Philadelphia. Howard Spencer. I'm sorry. The pitcher, lot of promise, very young, good arm, but a little injury prone. He could turn into nothing, and he could turn into a Cy Young contender. He throws 97, 98. It's just he's had a couple of shoulder injuries. The Rangers got back several good middle infielder products from the Yankees, who don't have the best farm system, but they got some of their best middle infielders in the farm system, and that kind of boosted the Rangers farm system. Some of these guys, they could make a major league team. A couple of them show they can hit. They're young guys, some of them are like at 15 home runs, 280 batting average. It could be something, and the Rangers now that they've totally committed, Ibanez, the outfielder, infielder, past few games, he's been playing really good. He's one of their better prospects. People are going to yell, he's only hitting 200. Well, because he's spot played with the Rangers up and down with the minors, but the last week he's caught fire playing like he can. Jonah Heim, the catcher, he hit 3 home runs in the last couple days. He's good defensively. Eli White, good defensive center fielder, shows a little bit of a bat. Ibanez is playing second base because Solak, who's been pretty good, still a young player, been in a slump, but I think he's got a bright upside. He's under 25. They got a couple guys that can come up and play first base that are young, but Nate Lowe's pretty steady. He's going to hit 270 with 25 home runs. The Rangers aren't good. They're just extremely young right now. Garcia at 28 might be the oldest guy in the team, but they got young guys, and the Ranger fans here in Dallas, man, they're so negative. In my eye, they're negative. They're just looking, we suck. And they want to get rid of Woodward. They want to get rid of Daniels. They're just in that impossible spot. They played good in the spring for a while, but then they've fallen off, and they had a couple of long losing streaks, which sucks. I really wish they would have kept Gallo. 27 years old. That's a guy you can build around. Yes, he hits for a low average, but he hits 40 home runs. He gets on base at almost a 400 clip because he will walk a lot, and he's a Gold Glove outfielder. You could build on that. You could use that guy. He's not a bad guy. He's good. He's not a superstar, but you can't laugh at 40 home runs, Gold Glove, and 100 walks.
Yeah.
You can't say anything negative about that. So, but the Rangers are in last place.
Yeah.
They did sign Jack Leader, their draft pick. They'll have a high draft pick again next year, which if I can regress here a moment, the Mets did not sign Rocker, which sucked. And of course, Rocker's agent is the baseball antichrist, Scott Boras.
Oh,
I really hate that MFer. He makes his clients lots of money, but if you're a fan of a player on your team, and if Scott Boras is his agent, you better enjoy that time that player plays with your team, because he will not sign with your team again. I can't even think of a player, and they're all stars, but I can't even think of a player that Boras re-signed with the same team. So enjoy your good player for 5 or 6 years and then say bye-bye, because Boras is what's wrong with pro sports. It's all about money.
Well, I mean, that's with any sport, but I think too
it is.
that
It's all sports, and it for the true sports fan, like us, it sucks. You have to, no matter what sport you're into, you can only. It's almost like college. You only look at a 3 or 4 year window. Okay, and then enjoy them years, and then it's going to be all regurgitated. There's not going to be any more Atlanta Braves winning 12 division titles. That's done. The Patriots in football, they were miraculous. That'll never happen again. The Cowboys in the early to mid 90s were the last great sports team. It'll never happen again. Money ruins sports. I'm so glad I coach 15-year-old kids in baseball, because money isn't an object. They're concerned about a hot dog,
Yeah. Hey, when can I eat? Or I don't know. But yeah, it sucks that it's all about the money, and I wish Gallo, maybe next year or something, will resign with the Rangers. I don't think he's gonna stay in
sign
New
with
York.
the Yankees. That would be the one instance where Boras signs with the same team, because Yankees have money and they will spend it.
And they
they
spend
don't
it
care.
wisely.
Yeah. The Rangers ownership, I'm getting a little tired of them. They've shown a willingness to spend a little money, but they don't really go all in. And I don't agree with people that want JD fired. JD's made good moves in the past. He hasn't had much to work with in the past 7-8 years. I think Chris Young is a good guy. Woodward, he's the manager right now. He's
he got a contract extension in the offseason.
Yeah, and he's a young manager. He gets along well with his young players. The team plays hard for him. They show no quit. They play hard for him. I'd give him some more time. It's just the Rangers, they are in total rebuild now. So look for last place, look for high draft picks. And just go out and enjoy the game, because they are good young players. Watch when they do well. Watch when they play good for 2 weeks and win 8 out of 12. Watch
Right.
that. That's, these guys are all 20, 21, 25, they're really young, Don't hate on your team. Support your team. Enjoy the down moments.
Enjoy the high moments. Enjoy, your team winning. Because it seems like in Texas, at least for the Rangers, it's few or far between. We only got 39 wins so far, 67 losses.
Yeah, they're
I
going to
don't
lose
see us-
100.
Huh?
They're going to lose 100.
Yeah. I don't see us making the playoffs. I'd like to improve. I'd like to improve at least to fourth place if possible. At least
Yeah,
it'll be a little better. I know we're not going to make the playoffs, but
they're
that'd
just
be
a
good
lot
enough.
of young guys that are just don't have the experience right now. I think they're set at shortstop for a couple of years with IKF. Garcia in the outfield, that's a guy that's set there for a while. Solak and Ibanez, Solak, it's his first year as a regular starter. He's always been a pretty good hitter, and now it's the first year. Sometimes 162 games is a long season.
It
He
is.
played through the end of June. He was hitting well. He, 280-ish. He had 12 or 13 home runs, some RBIs, playing good defense. And he went into a slump. So, he's young. Just grow with that. In the Rangers minor leagues, you got Josh Young, the Red Raider. He's about ready to step right up into third base. He's doing well. They've got a couple of pitchers that pitched in the Futures game in the All-Star weekend. The Rangers kind of, for a change, have maybe a fairly decent pitching in the minor leagues. Some guys that could come up. They've got a couple of catchers that are ready, to come up. There's a young guy that plays first base that could be there, and what's Ibanez going to do? He's going to play the rest of the year. He's one of their top talents. He's a guy that has pop. He's got speed, second base, outfield. He has a good glove. He just, typical Latin player, strikes out a lot, doesn't walk much, but take the good. Just watch them, have fun.
Yeah.
These guys are out there playing hard. I don't see any quit in this team. They go out there, they run every ground ball out. They hustle, they do everything, they get dirty. It's just they're not good yet.
When do you think Texas will be a playoff contender?
Well, the way they are right now, I would look at 2 and 3 years. Next year, hopefully they play better, but they may not play 500. But you would like to see some flashes of being good. And hopefully they, if Paul Young gets up to the majors and stays, say he hits pretty good, plays good defense at third. Some of their young pitchers, Dane Dunning, he's a rookie this year. He's pitched pretty well. He looks like a guy, Jordan Lyles, he's been up and down, but when he pitches good, he's pitched good. It's their bullpen has been off and on, but there are guys in the bullpen that throw 98, 99 that just got to figure it out. I think their arrow is more pointed up than down. This year it will go down, and then next year I think the arrow will turn around and go up. People will say, well, that's the only way they can go. Yes, but they're very young, And, you know, I don't know. I always support my teams, whether they're good or bad.
I do too.
You know, I was there with the Cowboys when they were 1-15, you know, and things like that. The Mets have had a lot of bad years, but I'm always a fan. Look at the good. Don't just look at the bad and then try to pretend to be the general manager. Plus, baseball, all pro sports, when the money comes into it, you know, they make a trade, they do something. They always have to figure in the money. You know, baseball does have a luxury tax, but it's not to the point of the NBA or even the NFL, which is ridiculous. You know, oh, we can't spend that money to get that guy that's being served to us on a golden platter that's going to be an all-star. You know, whoa, we can't afford it. You know, money is ruining sports, you know, and it's seeping into college and crap, even high school level now, you know, with the kid, he's not going to play football this year for Southlake because he's going to Ohio State and he's going to complete his classes and be a freshman at Ohio State and use his likeness. And they think he'll make $1 million and he may not even play one snap, you know, but he'll be on Ohio State. And it's money, and that's the most important thing.
Right. Brandon commented earlier saying, "What's up, guys? Sorry I can't make it tonight." He'll probably be back next week, more than likely, so we'll see him back next week.
Yeah, Barrios done gone to the Blue Jays. The other day, we already knew that Nelly went to Tampa Bay, which will help Tampa Bay. I'd love it. Well, they were in first place, like a half a game over the Red Sox. So if Tampa Bay can keep ahead of the Yankees, I'm all for it. I'm liking the Red Sox, who picked up Kyle Schwarber. Like they need another bat,
right?
You know, and you know, so I think it's going to be Boston and Tampa Bay. The rest of the Yankees, they picked up Gallo, they got Rizzo, really good first baseman. The rumor is he may go back with the Cubs. Who knows? You know, and everything, but. That race will be pretty interesting. Brandon, your Twins, hopefully they got some good prospects. They played kind of good this year, you know, considering they don't suck.
Well,
you know,
if you look at, I don't think they suck either, but I mean, if you're looking at the standings, you know.
Yeah, they're not a last place team, but they're not a, you know, over 500.
It shows they're last place, but I don't think physically they're a last place team.
Yeah, they might be the best last place team if they're in last place.
They are.
You know, and maybe they finish 10 games under 500, which it's bad, but it's not sucky awful. It's not like the Orioles or what the Rangers are going to go through, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing with standings too. It kind of overshadows the play on the field when you put the win-loss totals on there and how many games back they are. It kind of it's like, well, on paper they show they're not that good, but they're playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
That's with any sport. You
know, hopefully getting rid or trading. Nelly and Barrios, who's a young veteran. If they got some good quality coming back, you know, when you trade with Tampa Bay, their farm system's so freaking rich. You know, it's stupid. You know, but that's my opinion. But you know,
the Yankees, I heard, they have a good farm system.
Well, their Yankees are middle of the road. They're like 15th, 18th ranked. The trade with the Rangers actually improved the Rangers farm system. It made them move up like 4 spots from 19th ranked to 14th or 15th, which, I'd rather be in that top half than the bottom half. It's showing you got something. But also on the other hand, Yankees are always the Yankees. They get players. They spend money. You don't build your team through free agency in baseball. You look for one or two players to plug a spot. But the Yankees, they're pretty smart. I'm a Yankee hater, but I respect 27 world championships, and I respect baseball. The Yankees always sign professional players. Name a free agent, a big-time free agent the Yankees signed that just didn't work out. People will maybe say A-Rod. No, he was great for the Yankees. You just don't like A-Rod because when he was here, the Rangers weren't good, but A-Rod was good. He won MVP. He hit 50 home runs. He wasn't a good fit for the team, and the Rangers paid so much for him because they bid against themselves. Instead of getting him for $250, they could have probably got him for $175, but they went and just outbid themselves to make sure they got him. And all the other things the Rangers tried to do did not work, so being the Rangers, but the Yankees, the guys they sign are always good dudes. And one of their free agents really he doesn't suck, but he hasn't worked out like they thought is Giancarlo Stanton. Okay. He hits home runs, but he gets hurt a lot. He's a good guy, but he's not the Miami Marlins Giancarlo Stanton. It's just injuries, maybe that's just the way he is. Now he's over 30, if the Yankees can shed themselves of him, for something, and some of their players, aren't performing. They thought Luke Voigt was going to be the answer at first base. He has all the potential in the world, but under 200, now you got Rizzo there. If they can sign Rizzo, and he's Italian, him and Gallo, Italian in New York. Come on, man.
Everybody says that, and I've heard the rule in New York with the Yankees that if you have like facial hair, you have
the Yankees.
People would be like, it doesn't look right.
That's a Yankees policy, and you've seen Joey Gallo. He looks like 12 years old, just like Odor does, And I think Gallo looks better without the beard, But anyway, that's a Yankees thing. Matt Damon years ago when he came from the Red Sox to the Yankees, the ultimate betrayal, in my opinion. In the Red Sox, he had long hair, a big-ass bushy beard. Yankees, short haircut, clean shaven. That's the Yankees policy. You can have a mustache, but not a big, huge one, and no facial hair. It's money again, and all the players agree to it. They don't even bitch about it. Pardon my French there. They don't even complain about it because they're wearing the pinstripes. That's the other thing. That's like in football, having the star on your helmet. There's a thing about it. Kids dream of it when they're little. They may grow up in the West Coast, but the Yankees. And even, guys, when they're there, and the Yankees are usually good. I hate that.
Maybe one day they won't be.
For a year.
Yeah. So which team do you think improved the most after the trade deadline?
Let's see. The Mets did help themselves, but they didn't make a lot of trades. The Yankees should be better, but again, they didn't get any extra pitching, and they did have a lot of offensive worries with some of their regulars. The Dodgers, Jesus Christmas. Scherzer and Trey Turner, are you kidding me? Like, they need that, you know. The
That's a
Giants,
big help, huh?
Chris Bryant, bam, right in there. And the Giants are playing well without him, and now they're better because he can play third, he can play outfield. He'll even play first. He'll probably be good because he's a good glove. But he's going to come in there and give that effort. The Giants improved. Sadly, the Padres didn't do too much. I think even though they didn't do the most trades, I think the Dodgers will improve the most, but all the Giants did was solidify their position. So I'd give the Giants an A and the Dodgers an A minus B plus, because the Giants are a team. Look at freaking Crawford at shortstop. Why nobody constantly talks about this guy is unbelievable. He's literally the best shortstop in the National League, and nobody talks about it. He hits with power. He plays good defense. They got Brandon Belt at first base, who's solid. Their outfield is good. Their pitching is good. They have young guys that are stepping up. The Dodgers are just, Clayton Kershaw. Is he kind of showing sign? He's 32, 33. Is he maybe slowing down? You got Scherzer. He's a bulldog, and he's going to definitely help in the playoffs. But you got young guy Trey Turner. He could be either Kyle or Corey Seager at short, or Trey Turner in center field, and that would move Chris Turner back to playing multiple positions, but extremely young and talented. Dodgers are loaded. Giants are loaded. I kind of like the Giants, but the Dodgers are there. They won the World Series last year. They got the veterans. They got Mookie. They even have Pujols coming off the bench, and he's played well for them.
He's not showing St. Louis.
I think between them two, Boston did pick up Schwarber, who's going to, left-handed hitter with Pesky's pole 300 feet away. Oh, my God. Schwarber's got to have to figure out how to play first base, because J.D. Martinez is locked in at DH, and Schwarber's young enough. I think, heck, just catch the freaking ball, dude. Be average, because he'll hit 40 home runs there with a good average. He's not going to – the Red Sox outfield is locked up. They're good. You got Bogarts at short, who just played his 1000th game at shortstop for Boston, which is number 3, I believe, all time. And he's good. Devers at third base is good. They're Boston's solid.
Right.
I think, even though they didn't make as many trades, I think San Francisco improved themselves the most. The White Sox too. Look, God dang, they got 3 top line relievers now, and with Kimbrel on there, and White Sox starting pitching is going crazy. Shoot, the starter just needs to get to the 5th inning now, and then you got 3 number 1 closers come right in there and shut you down. And they're hitting, they're playing good defense. They're carrying Tony La Russa, who's like 95 years old, around.
Do you think pitchers are getting used to the new way they're pitching the ball, or you think that's kind of
Yeah, it is what it
trouble?
was. They're athletes. They adjusted. The guys that were using it probably stopped using it. Tyler Glass now he got hurt because of it, because I think he was throwing, and now he's undergoing Tommy John. So that's kind of
like
a
a
bust.
2-year injury.
Yeah, it's at
I know
least
it's
a
hard
year,
to
so
come
he
back
may
from.
be back for them in September of next year. That's an early forecast. It's a year injury, so it's July. And surgery goes well. Rehab goes well, much like Noah Syndergaard with the Mets. He did have a setback, but he was going to be pitching in July. Now he'll pitch in September. You have things happen. They know what they're doing with that kind of injury.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. I think most pitchers adjusted. You've seen a little turnaround, and in the summer anyway, hitters heat up. That's a normal thing. It just was so much a difference in April, May, and June that it was really something else, and nobody's complaining about it.
Not right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, and hitters are starting to hit a little better. Most of the hitters agreed that the pitchers should have something that they control the ball. The hitters won't want a guy throwing 98 that doesn't know where the ball's going. They'd rather have a guy throwing 98 that knows where the ball's going. And there should be something. Batters can use pine tar and everything. Catchers put pine tar on their shin guards so they can throw down the second and the first and everything. Pitchers have rosin, which is just a real basic drying substance. But when it's humid, rosin doesn't do any good. They need something a little tactile. And I would like to see them approve something that they can actually use, not the spider tack, because that does something. And I believe that did start some guys with injury, because now to get the extra spin rate on the ball, they're really snapping their wrist and their elbow at the end of the pitch, to get the extra 200 revolutions, which is a big deal, and the guys throw harder now than they ever have. And it's just putting a little undue pressure on their shoulder, their elbow. The human body is not made like that. A throwing motion is an unnatural motion. Underhand throwing is natural. That's why college softball girls can throw 100 pitches one day, go right out the next day and throw 100, because you're coming under. You're going with the thing. Excuse me. But we'll see. After the offseason, that stuff will be talked about and bandied about, and then we'll see if they come up with something. Keep a total ban. I don't know. Honestly, pitchers need a little help.
They do, and as long as it's not hurting anyone, like physically, I'm okay with it. But I also understand the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
So
well, that's why, like 80 some years ago, they banned the spitball. It was pretty much unhittable, but the pitcher didn't know where it's going. You're just squirting a ball out there and you're throwing it 92, 93. Nobody threw 100 back then, but or some came close. But they don't know where it's going. That's why they banned it. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous pitch. You need to have control of what you do. If you're going to throw a 94 mile an hour slider, which is freaking faster than Mariano even threw it, but if you're going to have that 12-inch dip and put it there every time because of some extra tackiness, that's fine. But if you throw it 94 and, it worked this time, but the next time it sailed, and it went up into his elbow, that's not what you want. Hitters don't want that.
No.
Hitters can hit a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. That's not the issue. They can hit that, but when it's going where they don't think it's going, that's the problem. They missed a 100-mile-an-hour pitch because they were just guessing wrong. Aroldis Chapman throwing 102, 103, he also had a good curveball. So they always had to look for that. And if they're thinking curveball and he throws 102, 103 mile an hour fastball up in the zone, there is no way you're going to hit that just because you're looking for a 90 mile an hour pitch, not 100. Baseball, it's a very minute difference between hitting and not hitting. It's nanoseconds.
All right. Before we close out the show, let's go over some scores that are going on around baseball. Bottom of the 7th, Rangers are taking on the Angels. Sadly, Rangers are losing 10-3.
Yeah.
Actually, they just switched to the end of the 7th, but that game's pretty much out of reach. Top of the 9th inning, the White Sox are beating the Royals 7-1.
As they should be.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Pirates are beating the Brewers 5-4. Bottom of the 7th. Let's see. The A's are defeating. No, the Padres are defeating the A's 4-0. Bottom of the 3rd inning, I should say. Another blowout game, I guess, is the Rockies defeating the Cubs 11-2. Bottom of the 6th.
The Cubs AAA.
Triple A. I mean, at this rate, probably.
The Cubs right now might be, with this lineup, they might be worse than the Rangers. They literally had it. I don't understand it. They had all that. Every guy they traded away was an all-star. How could you not be good?
Why would you do that? I mean,
I have no idea. I think because they weren't, as a team, doing it really well this year, they said, the heck with it. Threw it up. They gave away everybody. They got good young trade minor league prospects in return. But it's like, if I was a Cubs fan, I'd be pissed. And I'm like, because it's not that they were out of it or anything. If they have a good month and go, 20-20 or win 20 out of 27, they're in there and they had the players to do it. It's I don't get it. It's just what they did. It was actually the way they gave away everybody. It was really, I expected one of them guys to go. I didn't expect Rizzo to go. I expected either Bryant or Baez to go, but what the heck? Not all three, and they got Contreras as a catcher. He's really good. He's all-star catcher, good hitter, great defense, I don't know.
I don't know.
Cubs fans, what do you think? Because out of all the teams, you guys should be the most pissed off. You really
Oh, yeah.
should. That's a total throw up your hands, give up.
Right. The Braves are winning 6-1, bottom of the ninth. Hopefully they pull off a win.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks are winning. They've been on a mini losing streak again. They're winning 3-0, bottom of the fourth. So they just started that one probably about 30 minutes ago. I'm just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing with
Once
this
they
game.
got over that 17-game losing streak, they've actually
Improved.
played respectively
Right.
around 500. You know, they're a young team too. They're just all prospects and young guys now. They had their shot a year or two ago, and I don't know what happened there.
It's 0-0 between the Astros and the Dodgers, top of the third.
Mm-hmm.
And then we head into some final games where the Phillies defeated the Nationals 5-4.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees unfortunately won that game against the Orioles 13-1.
Yeah, they were killing them.
Yeah.
It's the Orioles.
We kind of went over this, but the Minnesota Twins beat the Cincinnati Reds 7-5. So Brandon, your Minnesota team got a win.
Brandon, fireball shots all around the house now.
There you go. Tim, Seattle Mariners defeated Tampa Bay Rays 4-2.
Tim's already had his fireball shots. He's passed out, sleeping away, waiting to wake up in the morning.
Probably.
Probably thinking of the Seahawks,
Yeah.
What's the Seattle Mariners?
Tigers beat the Red Sox 4-2.
Ooh, tough one.
Miami Marlins beat the Mets 5-4.
Yep.
White Sox beat the Royals 7-1. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
A lot of games went final.
The next month is going to be a lot of stuff going on. And this year it's new because this trade line was the final trade line. There's no more August 31st. So whoever's on your team is on your team for the playoffs. I don't know all the details. I think if you make a trade for somebody in the next 2 weeks, from what I read, I know it's different. They changed the rule. It used to be if they were on your team before August 31st, because that was the waiver wire line, then they could play in the playoffs. But I don't know if it's the same now. Something changed with it. So maybe that's why all these teams pulled off a lot of moves at this trade deadline. It's always going to be like that now.
Do you like that, or do you like the way it was?
Team that's not going good is going to dump the high price guy, fan favorite or not.
Do you like the new format of the trade deadline, or did you like the way it was before?
I liked it when it wasn't such a big deal. Now teams go into the season saying, well, at the trade deadline, teams that aren't the favorites, the teams that are like 500 borderline teams, they're going, okay, well, we hope Joe Schmo plays good because at the trade deadline, we'll trade him for a couple of good prospects and kick his butt out. I'm like, oh my God, you're just, They were talking about the Rangers are talking about Joey Gallo before the season even started, before spring training even started. when you're a fan, you're like, really? Why?
Yeah, and you
Does it
start
make you
questioning, why am I
want
fan?
to? Does it make you want to follow your team if they're just going to give up? And it's money and the front office.
Yeah.
Some clubs have a good front office and they run it well. I don't think in the last few years the Rangers, I think it's more ownership than John Daniels. Maybe somebody needs to buy the Rangers that's willing to throw out money. Davis and Simpson, they'll spend some money, but not much. Oh, wait, no, and they're quiet too. You don't never hear anything about them. The Steinbrenner clan in New York, you always hear about them. The Boston, you always hear about them. The Dodgers, the Giants, even the Mets, you hear a lot about, and, you don't want to hear your ownership is kind of waffling and stuff. Well, money is the most important thing,
It should be second, but
Yeah, fans are concerned about winning. They don't give a crap about the money you make because you're going to make freaking stupid money anyway.
yeah.
Fans go to the game. They paid an $8 Coke. They paid a $7 hot dog, which is not a big hot dog. It's a little Oscar Mayer wiener where for $8 you could buy a package of buns and 8 hot dogs,
Mhm.
and it's yeah.
No, I understand.
I'm about the money.
Right. So we're wrapping up.
Okay.
You got 30 seconds to a minute to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
All right. Well, I am looking forward to the last 2 months with the NL East being a dogfight. I'm going to be nervous as hell, but at the end, that's fun. To me, the Mets haven't gotten hot. They have too many good players that have been, some have been playing okay, and they've gotten a little better, but nobody's gotten torrid hot. Hopefully, Javi Baez will fix that. Plus, the Mets got a little rookie pitcher there, Pete McGill. He's been pitching pretty good. So a little bit of boost to the pitching and stuff. I hope the Mets get hot. And there's a saying, the best thing you can happen with your team is you have a 10-game lead August 1st, and then you slowly pull away. I think Leo DeRocher from years and years ago said that, and as a fan, I've seen the Mets do that. They've won 100 games and just pulled it away. And you've seen other teams do it, the Yankees, the Dodgers, but, to me, August and September is all about baseball pennant races.
Mhm.
There's so many divisions. I would love to see the Giants and the Dodgers get into some kind of thing, and San Diego just fall off the map. They think they're important, but they're really not. They're a very good team, but the Dodgers and Giants rivalry is great, as is the Mets, or not the Mets, the Red Sox and the Yankees. But Yankees are 9 games back. If they don't make any headway in the next couple of weeks, they may be gone. I wouldn't mind that at all. Let's see the Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays fight it out, Okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting 2 months of the regular season to get into playoffs. We'll see how that goes. And hopefully our teams either improve to make the playoffs or just improve in the season ending up next year. So with that, I am Chris for Dirk. Brandon Big B will be back next week. And please join us for another edition of On Deck here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. and we will see you guys next week.
Night all. Let's go.